When you think of a temple, what do you see? A place of prayer, a priest chanting mantras, maybe devotees lighting lamps and offering coconuts. But what if I told you ancient Hindu temples were far more than just religious sites? They were banks, universities, art galleries, social anchors. They were the beating heart of a civilization, and that's exactly why they were targeted. Again and again. This is the untold truth of Hindu temples. Temples as civilizational hubs. In ancient India, temples weren't isolated spiritual zones. They were the center of daily life. Every village had a temple, not just for prayer, but as a place to learn, trade, discuss philosophy, and even settle disputes. Think of them as today's combined bank, university, court, and community hall. From Tamil Nadu to Odisha, from Gujarat to Assam, inscriptions, copper plates, and temple grants reveal how vast their role was. Temples as economic powerhouses? Yes, temples handled money, a lot of it. Merchants donated wealth for spiritual merit and social prestige. Temples offered loans, with interest, to farmers, craftsmen, and even kings. Temple lands were leased for agriculture, generating revenue. They maintained grain banks for times of famine. They supported hundreds of artisans, dancers, priests, cooks, guards, and laborers. The temple was the economic nerve center of its region. Example: the Brihadiswarar temple in Tanjavur employed over 400 staff members, from musicians to jewel keepers. Temples as universities and cultural repositories. Before Oxford and Harvard, there was Nalanda, Takshashila, and temple-based learning. Temples ran pathshalas, traditional schools teaching Vedas, mathematics, astronomy, grammar, and more. Gurukuls often operated near temple complexes. Temples preserved manuscripts, hosted debates, trained sculptors, architects, and dancers. Dance forms like Bharatanatyam, Odissi, and Kathakali were nurtured inside temples. These weren't just buildings. They were civilizational databases. Why invaders targeted temples? Now you understand why temples were prime targets. Destroying a temple wasn't just about smashing an idol. It was about crushing the soul of a civilization. Ghazni looted Somnath not for its deity, but its gold. Khilji sacked Devagiri and plundered temple treasuries. Mughals repeatedly razed Kashi Vishwanath and others. British stripped temple lands, turned priests into beggars, and shifted economic control to colonial courts and banks. Temples represented spiritual identity, economic autonomy, and cultural unity. The three things every invader fears. The decline. Not just by invaders. But let's also be honest. Over time, some temples did become corrupt. Entry became restricted by caste. Knowledge was monopolized. Temple wealth became hereditary power, and many forgot the true purpose of these institutions. This internal decay made temples vulnerable, not just to outsiders, but to our own apathy. Can we reclaim the spirit of our temples? Today, we visit temples for blessings. We post reels from corridors of heritage. But how many of us understand what temples truly stood for? They weren't just sacred, they were sovereign. They upheld dharma, distributed wealth, nurtured talent, and bound society together. Rebuilding temples is not just about stone and structure. It's about reviving a civilizational ecosystem, one that we forgot, one that we must now remember. A temple isn't just a shrine. It's a symbol of what we once were and what we still can be. The question is not, will we rebuild our temples? The real question is, will we rebuild their spirit?